listening to Tapped In, Buncombe County's half hour to empower on WRES 100.7 FM in Asheville. Listen up and get tapped into local important resources, information, and topics. Learn more about the topics of today's show at buncombecounty.org. Okay, it's time to get tapped in.
Hello, and greetings to everyone who hears my voice. It's your favorite Buncombe County show, Tapped In. And I am one of your hosts, Zakiya Bell Rogers, and my co-host is...
And I'm Leonard Jones.
Leonard and I come to you from Communications and Public Engagement Department of Buncombe County, the heroes who actually wear the capes.
And so today we have two guests from Buncombe County's Recreation Services, Stanley, Program Coordinator, and Matt Dixon, Park Ranger Supervisor. We understand the holidays are quickly approaching and we are at the end of the fall leaf season. However, we want to inform the community about some exciting upcoming events and various things about Buncombe County Recreational Service. Welcome, Mac and Matt.
Thanks for having us.
Y'all can go ahead and introduce yourselves. Go ahead, tell us about you.
You go first.
So I'm Matt Dixon. I'm the Park Ranger Supervisor. Specifically work at Lake Julian Park. But we kind of, it's a small department, so we do a lot of things, work together in a lot of different areas. So that's it.
And I'm Max Stanley, Program Coordinator for Buncombe County Recreation Services. Do a lot of things, do some data collection for us, do some asset management for our facilities and our parks, as well as I'm the local coordinator for our Special Olympics here in Buncombe County.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that just newly got placed to me, so kind of diving into that this month. But yeah, just like Matt said, we're a small department. We've got our hands in a lot of things that we do.
So just to start us out, how many parks and recreation facilities do the county operate?
So we've got 6 parks. We've got 7 river parks. We've got, now I gotta look at the numbers, 5 pools, 3 soccer fields, and then 4 community centers located out and about.
Okay.
That almost felt like when you were a kid and you had to do the globe, and it's like there are 7 continents.
Oh yeah.
There are 7 seas.
Yeah.
There are 6 lakes. It almost feels like that. So you're basically repeating that information and making us get a little nostalgic over here. But so what are the operating hours of these parks?
You want to handle that?
Yeah. So all of our parks open at 8 a.m. And they run through till dark. So we always kind of go 30 minutes from sunset is kind of how we decide what dark is. There's always those weird gray areas like right now that we're going into before daylight savings, and then when daylight savings in the spring, those 2 times are always a little weird. But general rule is 8 a.m. to dark.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that Monday through Friday or Sunday through Sunday? Well, what day?
Every day.
Every day?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
wow.
here every day. So Lake Julian's the only park that's like manned all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We have a new position now that they've been out doing a lot more patrolling in those other parks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're there every day.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yep.
So Lake Julian is one of the popular ones because a lot of stuff goes on there.
Yeah, and it's we have the water, so you kind of you have to have somebody there.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of boating and stuff on the weekends that go on. So we've done rescues, and we're kind of the first person there if something were to go wrong to call the first responders.
So we talked about I'm just going to use Lake Julian Park because it has everything. It has shelters and a playground and all these places. How do you rent a shelter?
So if you wanted to rent a shelter currently, right now, what you would do is call the office, Lake Julian office, 828-684-0376, or you can shoot us an email at parks@buncombecounty.org. That's if you wanted to do it specifically at Lake Julian, you can just call right there to the office. But we have shelters at the sports park and at Owen Park.
Mm-hmm.
But if you email parks@Buncombe County, we can help you with any of those shelters.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I heard you say we got 7 river parks. Like, what do you do at the river parks?
So
So that's really it's open. It's really just like public recreation areas.
Mhm.
So, like Matt said, we don't have like full staff at those river parks.
Okay.
So they're just open for people to go and use. They've got picnic tables. They've got places where people can launch their boats into the French
Mhm.
Broad River. So really just like passive recreation spots.
Okay.
The French Broad River. That's a whole different conversation. So, do we have anything to do with that? That's not us, is it? We don't have.
Not the river itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say the boat launching usage at those river parks have gone up exponentially since COVID.
Yeah.
'Cause it seems like everybody went and bought a kayak.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
I know at the lake we were like, what's happening? Because it was out of nowhere. But I know at those river parks we've seen a big uptick in people getting on the water.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I got another question. I know you mentioned around Lake Julian having a lake. Do you have like fishing? Do people fish in Lake Julian?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We went through a change about 2 years ago with the power plant. It used to be coal powered, switched over to natural gas, so it affected the water temperature. So we used to have tilapia in the lake. They all died off when that change happened, but it's been a big positive thing for the native fish like bass, crappie, brim, stuff like that. So you've seen a change in the fishing. It's been cool to watch the change, but it's been a positive change for those fish. So yeah, I mean, fishing's been very popular. I would say more so since the change.
So the tilapia couldn't survive in colder
Yeah,
temperatures.
it got too cold for them.
And you said the native fish, so they were imported in? Or?
Yeah, the tilapia were.
Yeah, where'd they come from?
I think they're mainly in like Southeast Asia.
Okay.
But they, a lot of warmer water lakes use them for grass control.
Oh, okay.
So they were brought in years ago before any of us were here. So yeah, it's been a weird, like I said, it's been weird to watch it, but it's been cool to see how, nature finds a way, as Jurassic Park would say.
Oh yes,
So,
and that's pretty. Yes, Jurassic Park, and that's really cool because I don't think I knew what type of fish were even in there, and and it's a catch and release, right?
it's not required.
Oh, really?
All the limits are just through NC Wildlife. So whatever game fish, if you catch bass, I can't remember off the top of my head, but you can just look them up on ncwildlife.org, and it's got all of those limits on there.
Oh wow!
And the only thing that is stocked in the lake right currently are channel catfish. So everything else, responsible fishing is a good thing for the, for a fishery like Lake Julian.
Do any of our other parks have lakes that you can fish in as well?
Owen Park has 2 ponds. Mac knows more about that.
Yeah, so Owen Park, Charles D. Owen Park out in Swananoa, has 2 ponds. It has an upper pond and a lower pond. It kind of has those more native fish in it, so like catfish, bass, crappie. And they actually do stock those ponds once a year with trout, which is pretty cool.
Oh wow!
So that's coming up in the next month. But yeah, just native fishing, and you can go out there fish as long as you have a North Carolina state fishing license. Yep.
And also, I know there are a lot of ducks and geese.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else are over there. There are no chickens there. Okay.
No chickens.
No chickens, just ducks and geese. But were they brought there? Because I know that like in the 90s, that what we have now look completely different than what we had in the 90s. I'm just trying to get all the animal wear together. So it's just like population change or just.
Yeah, so there's definitely, I wouldn't say definitely, there's been allegedly have been some waterfowl have been dropped off, especially at Lake Julian. I know at Owen Park. We've seen there's a couple of species, like there's an Egyptian goose at Lake Julian that you'll see. They look like they have like Cleopatra's makeup on their
wow.
And those things were definitely dropped off. They're not in the wild here, and they are terribly territorial. All of the other geese and ducks hate them. That's been an interesting one to watch for sure.
So they're the mean girls of the ducks.
Yes,
but they are beautiful creatures.
They are beautiful
They
creatures.
are beautiful.
And
but
I mean,
everything he's saying is correct.
Yeah, and people that come for our birding tours, they are so excited to see those because you don't see them.
Yeah.
But it's so there are ones that are dropped off, and then nature finds a way. Things they get together, and sometimes some geese that that wouldn't naturally look the way they. Yeah, there's some mingling. We'll say.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, that might be why you're seeing some different.
So it's
looking ones.
foul harmony
Yes.
at Lake
Yes.
Julian. All right, guys. So of course, we always wonder about being safe there. Are there any other animals, or do we have deer on our parks or anything like that, or?
So occasionally we'll have some deer come through. That's just the nature of parks.
Yeah.
And, they get pushed.
Yeah.
So and then we've had a couple of bear sightings. I would say.
Yeah, we actually had a bear at Lake Julian last week. It was a little baby bear. And like Max said, you see with all the construction and everything, they get pushed, and then you have a park that's somewhat nature, as developed as we develop it, but they kind of get pushed into those areas. So it's always good to just keep your eye out. Like Max said, it's nature of parks. You're outside. You could run into something that we don't expect.
Well, let's get to the serious part of it, and there are some rules and ordinance signs going on.
Yes,
So.
correct.
It's okay, Leonard. Ask all those questions about ordinance signs.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here and talking about nature and wildlife, and so just sharing with the community, what's some of the rules and ordinance that people should know if they venture out to some of our parks in Buncombe County?
So some of the things we just want to point out, we are getting new ordinance signs coming up in the next couple of months. But no overnight camping, no campfires, none of that stuff. Let's see, no smoking. We don't allow smoking on any of our Buncombe County facilities. Please keep your dogs on a leash. There is a leash law within Buncombe County. We run into that. I would say that's probably a big thing that we run into a lot. It's just people having their dogs off leash. Let's see, anything off the top of your head? Those are the main big things that we want to hit on.
Yeah, I think we touched them. Touched them all.
And are these signs, where they're going to be displayed in the opening so that people know where to look, and just in case you don't remember the rules?
Yeah, so once you come into the park, we'll have them. They should be right there, right when you drive in. Easy to read. There's also going to be some QR codes on there, that will take you to a different site for if you speak another language, which is a new thing that we're doing for these ordinance signs, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah.
And so I'm a native of the area, so I grew up and kind of going out to Lake Julian and stuff like that. So I was just wondering, has there been any upgrades just for people as we talk today? Any upgrades made to the park or changes?
So fairly recently, last February, we got 20 new paddle boats. We had 16 in the past. They were all very old and very
scary.
They needed some revamping. So we were really excited about getting those 20. That's a funny story for another day. That we got them delivered with some assembly required.
Oh my goodness.
So me, Mac, and all the guys at the lake turned every bolt on every one of those. So
definitely not some assembly. It was all
assembly
required.
Yeah. The guys at Lake Julian, I could feel them wanting to fight me.
Yeah.
Because I told them it's just a few pieces. But so that was the biggest update recently. We got a lot of our shelters were redone. We didn't have enough to really tear them down and rebuild them, but we revamped those, and we're looking to add new picnic tables in the coming year in the shelters, and new grills for the shelters. So
we can still grill.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you can roast those marshmallows over the grill while your hot dog is right there.
Oh yeah.
I would clarify no open fires. But if you're contained to a grill, you should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can they bring a grill and put up, or do they have to use the park grills?
Unofficially, we've had a lot of people will bring their own, like if they were to, like if they're having a family reunion and they want to have a smoker or something, a lot of people will bring a smoker, because we just have those open grills. So yeah, I mean, as long as I would say with a shelter rental, if you were to bring your own grill, that would be fine. I'd say that.
You said family reunions, and we talk about the large park. So what are the upcoming events? Because Leonard has adult children.
Okay.
And so he needs to make sure that he
so for upcoming, right around the corner is Festival of Lights.
Yeah.
That's our big one for the winter. We're currently setting up the lights right now. You know, so that'll run. I mean, we can get into the dates now. I don't know if you
Yeah,
want.
go ahead.
So we'll have a public walkthrough on December 2nd and 3rd, and then the first drive-through night will start on the 4th, and we'll run that through the 23rd of December. For the walkthrough nights, it's $5 for adults. Kids are free, and then drive-through is $10 a car, $25 for like a church van sized van,
Yeah.
and then $50 for a bus.
Okay.
So you said Festival of Lights. Can you just give us what would they experience if you come out? to
Yeah,
Festival of
so
Lights?
it's we light up Lake Julian with a bunch of light fixtures. I think there's probably around 50 big light fixtures we have, plus thousands and thousands of feet of bulbs that we put up around trees and everywhere. So you'll come in and you'll see, you know, a wide array of holiday lights. We usually have kettle corn up at the top, and it's a fun, affordable way to see lights around here. We've tried to keep it where it's affordable and attainable for everybody to come visit.
And what we were thinking, this is the 20.
This should be the
22nd.
22nd. This will be the 22nd.
Wow.
We've done it.
Yeah.
So are any of those light fixtures like an original 20, like a piece that they should like really look for that's been there the whole time?
Yeah.
Some of them definitely look like I'd say.
Yeah. There's a couple that you can see. There's a gingerbread house. There's a fishing Santa Claus. Those are old.
Yeah.
If you see them during the day and you put them up, you're like, yeah, that one's been here for a while.
Yeah.
You don't see it at night. They all light up. They all
It's
look
vintage.
nice. It's vintage. They have a nice patina.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, you'll see we had a new big custom piece a couple years ago that we had made for the lights. It says Lake Julian Festival Lights, really nice, like woodsy scene.
wow.
So that's our biggest piece, and it's you know, it's a showstopper for sure.
It's great.
So you say you like the drive-through, is it like set to like music, or is anything to kind of?
It is not.
Okay.
We are currently adding some of that.
Mhm.
It takes a lot to add to set to music. This year we'll have, I think we have 5 or 7 RGB trees, which not to get too technical in the weeds here, but you can set them to go to music or different show scenes and show words and letters and all that.
Oh, wow.
So we just started that last year. It's kind of a growing experiment that will keep growing. But currently not all of the lights are set to music.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it almost feels like, have you ever gone to like Disney or any of those places?
Oh yeah.
One of the ones I always go on, and because it's absolutely creepy, is a Small World.
Oh yeah.
Because like so it's kind of like, I think it would be like really cool. Like once you all get the music going and everything,
Yeah.
that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for I should touch on the walkthrough nights. They're a little different for
Yeah.
what you'll experience. For the public nights, we'll have. I say public nights because we have an employee night that we treat for the Buncombe County employees. They all come, and we kind of treat that as a dress rehearsal on our end of being able to run around and check everything. But any of those walkthrough nights, you'll come in. We'll have s'mores with some fire pits. You can do your own s'mores. And then we'll have crafts up in shelter too. So we'll probably be decorating your own ornaments.
That's cool.
Yeah, and we'll have the leaf band will be there as well, doing their own crafts. So it's a fun event to get in there and really walk around. I would say on the walkthrough nights, just try to stay on the asphalt path. We did, there's a lot of guide wires and stuff like that. So,
And so, what about parking?
parking for the walkthroughs, they're parking at Estes and Kuntz, Estes Elementary and Kuntz Intermediate right there across the street. And we'll have somebody helping cross the road there at Long Shoals. But those walkthroughs will run from 6 to 9 and parking is over there.
And how about people who are like have wheelchairs and things like that?
Yeah, we have handicap spots open.
Okay.
For the employee night, they have to RSVP in advance. For the public nights, you just show up, if you have your handicap tag, you come on in, we'll have somebody at the gate letting you in. And we'll have designated handicap spots.
And so for the listeners today, can you just give us those dates again? Around,
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to talk a lot about the festival lights, and people might be interested, just those hours and the location.
Yeah, so walkthroughs are 2nd and 3rd of December from 6 to 9. and drive-throughs go from 4th to the 23rd, 6 to 9. Barring any crazy weather. If it's like crazy snowy or icy, we'll shut it down for a day, just safety wise, but we try to run it every night.
Okay. To the 23rd. Okay.
And if we do happen to have to close down, that will be posted on our social media accounts. So Facebook.
And we try, like I said, we try our hardest to be ready to go at 6 even if there's bad ice.
So we got the Festival of Lights. You spoke about the Special Olympics. Where's that
Correct.
usually held?
So we have a couple of different sports that we do. We've got cheerleading going on right now, gymnastics, soccer, let's see what else, bowling. There might be one more that I'm forgetting about, so I apologize. But they happen in various areas around the county. Practices just go on, and then we have a huge Buncombe County Spring Games that's held at TC Robertson in the spring, obviously. So we're gearing up for that. We're getting our stuff ready. So
Yeah. So it goes on throughout the year for Special
Correct.
Olympics. Oh, that's awesome. And that information will be posted on our social media page, right?
correct.
All right.
And that's buncombecounty.org under recreational services is where you can find a lot of those upcoming events.
And just another thing to touch on about Special Olympics, another thing we're really happy about with Festival Lights is that we donate 20% of all of the money from the Festival Lights straight to Buncombe County Special Olympics. So I mean that's something that we don't mention because it's just daily for us, but it's a big deal. You know, people if you're coming out, 20% of that money is going to a really good cause.
So that's awesome because a lot of folks love to give during the holiday season. So if you all hear that, go ahead and bring that coin purse on out and
And the rest of the money goes back into the show to
continue.
It. So it's all good cause.
Oh yeah, So we give forward, and we recycle as well. That's
Exactly.
good. That's good. So and we're gonna say this one more time. You go to
buncombecounty.org under recreational services.
or the social media page.
Just Facebook, Buncombe County Recreation Services.
Okay, so you all got that. And if you have a teenager that'll help you guide you through those things, I advise you to grab them because if you're anything like me, you're gonna run Google crazy. So you said, and can you go over the price just one more time so we can make sure everybody go?
Yeah, so for the walkthrough nights, adults are $5, kids are free. And drive-through nights are $10 for just a normal passenger car, $25 for a church van, which I would say is like 15 passenger, just your typical church van size, and then $50 for like a young bus, tour bus size.
And you can go purchase those in advance if you need to. All that information is on the website, and then you can also pay cash or card when you get there on the night. So.
And so I also was thinking, we're here in Western North Carolina in the middle of the mountains. What's some of the hiking services that recreational service offer there?
So we try to do a hiking series in the fall and in the spring, and those typically consist of 4 to 6 hikes between like easy and strenuous. We're coming up on the end. We actually did our last one back in October. And that was to Hawksbill Rock up on the Parkway. And we've previously done hikes to Rattlesnake Lodge on the Parkway. We've hiked to Lake Powhatan. We've hiked to Craggy Gardens. And we try and keep it within the county to make it accessible to everyone within the county. So
we most definitely have to bring it back on in the spring.
I just want all the listeners to know I won't be hiking.
We'll get her out there one day. We will.
If you name the place Rattlesnake Springs, I'm not gonna come.
There's no rattlesnakes.
It's
over there.
almost like
there might.
That's like if you
can't promise anything.
that's like if you say, hey, we're going to Bear Wolf Range. I'm not gonna go. It just doesn't sound safe. No, but these places are very safe, and they're very fun. I'm not a hiker. I don't like bugs. So my thing is, bugs are there. I respect their space. You know, if I'm in nature, I'm in their house. If I'm at my home, they're in my house. So I respect boundaries.
Yeah.
So, also, you all had a big thing earlier this year. You had the camping.
We did, yes. So we tried. We've done it for. This was the first one we've done in like 2 years, but we've done ones previously, and we call it the Lake Julian Camp Out, and we try and give like a experience to first time campers. We shut down Lake Julian for the day and night. People come in, they set up camp. We provide, activities for them to do, camping spots. We provide them with food. So we're looking at those opportunities moving forward in the next year, maybe having 2 in the spring and fall. So.
Yeah, so that is awesome.
Yeah.
So we're getting ready to wrap up, Michelle. You all have been great. You all have been really great. So I'm going to give you a moment to give us one thing you feel that's extremely important. No, everybody has to go. They're pointing at each other. Everybody has to do it. So give something that you think is important about the parks or about a project that's coming up that you really want to reiterate.
Oh man, off the top of the dome. I would say my personal thing is I just want everybody to get outside, have a good time. But when you go outside, be mindful of what you're doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Go out there, have a good time, but also be mindful. And our parks and facilities are a great place to go and do that. So.
Yeah, I would say, we've talked about with COVID how it created a lot of new people that want to be stewards of the outdoors, and that's a new thing for a lot of people. I would say one thing is if you have a question, ask. We've got a lot of really, really passionate staff in our department. All of us care about the outdoors, and all of us want people to get outside. So reach out, talk to any of us. If that's one of our seasonal workers walking around at Lake Julian picking up trash, or our director, any of us from bottom up would happily answer any questions about being outside. So that's what I would say.
And if you do have any questions, you can always email us parks@buncombecounty.org and we will get back to you.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Brandon?
And so I'd just like to remind everyone that Buncombe County Recreational Service, we have 6 parks, 7 river parks, 5 pools, and 3 soccer fields. So we just want to encourage community to go out and enjoy nature and these facilities brought to you by Buncombe County. And you can find all this information as well as programs and upcoming events at buncombecounty.org under recreational services. So get out and enjoy the community.
All right, listeners, walk with me mentally, if you will, as we wrap this day up. We have just experienced 2 years of COVID, and we are starting to peek our heads out of our shells at this moment. Today, you heard about amazing information about what our county has, what all our parks and all our different services that you can get at that park, and the hiking and the boats and the shelters and all those things, the paddle boats. Make sure you have good calves if you're going to do that. But I want to say this: rediscover the kid in you. That is my challenge for you all during this upcoming holiday. Go look at the ducks, go look at the birds, go look at the bugs, and really rediscover the kid in you. COVID had us locked in, and we use a lot of technology. This is a time for us to re-emerge and, look into nature like we did when we were younger. To each and every one of you all, thank you so much for listening. Until next time, you've been tapped in.
Thank you for listening to Tapped In, Buncombe County's half hour to empower, here on WRES 100.7 FM in Nashville. Learn more about today's topics at buncombecounty.org. Otherwise, stay tuned for more great episodes coming up.